Hello, dear attendees. The topic of our speech today will be Paleogeomorphological amber traps of the Prypiat amber-bearing basin of the Ukraine. Theory and methodology of searches. The following researchers participated in the study: Komliev, Remezova, Spytsia, Komlieva, Zhilkin, Koval and Naumenko. Ukraine's amber industry requires expansion of its mineral resource base. The territory of the Prypiat Amber Basin, or PAB, as abbreviation, is considered to be the most promising for this purpose. Prypiat Amber Basin, PAB. Here, a prognosis and search system for amber, PSSA, has been created that is capable of solving current problems of the industry and its development on the scientific basis, including the concept of the amber-bearing formation, AF, and its practical implementation. The search for the amber-bearing objects, AOs, traps of various genesis. Paleogeomorphological traps, PTs. Currently, it is believed that the main increase in amber production in the territory of the PAB will occur due to paleogeomorphological traps, or PTs. The paleogeomorphological traps of the PAB territory. On their basis, the paleogeomorphological traps of the PAB territory were typified by rank, and their general assessment was made to identify increased, primarily industrial, concentrations of amber. The first rank is the geomorpholithosphere of the time of the EF formation. The second rank is its structural elements and at the same time forecasting and prospecting units, historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems. The third rank includes morpholithohorizons of the geomorpholithosphere, elements of its vertical structure, and morpholithocomplexes, elements of its horizontal structure that are promising for amber deposits. A comprehensive analysis of paleogeomorphological maps of the cycles of geomorphosystem development and formation of the EF allows to distinguish the fourth and fifth ranked PTs in the territory of the PAB. The fourth rank includes some forms of paleorelief of perspective cycles, ancient valleys, coastal zones, uplands. The fifth rank includes parts of large forms, depressions in paleovalleys, beaches, benches, etc. The morphochronodynamic concept of geomorphology. This task is solved by the morphochronodynamic concept, the information and methodological basis of which is paleogeomorphology. The morphochronodynamic concept uses the methodology of systems theory, presents its own research method and determines the content of subject cartographic models that reflect the results of the research. The PAB is crossed by 12 historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems located on the Ukrainian Shield, Volhyno-Podolskaya Plate, and directed to the Prypiatskaya Depression and the Luganskaya historically dynamic basin geomorphosystem, which opens into the Dniprovsko-Donetskaya Depression. You can look at the map which shows historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems. They are numbered throughout the Prypiat-Amber-Biran Basin area. We studied the area, configuration in plan, exposed surface, orohydrography, topography, position, lower buried surface, relief, composition and age of rocks, thickness and shape, symmetry, anisotropy of the morpholithobodies of the basin geomorphosystem, neighborhood, boundaries, vertical, distribution, thickness, lithology of morphological zones, and horizontal, composition, complexity, areas of morphological complexes, structure, conformity of exposed and buried surfaces, valley formation, or historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems. Their quantitative and qualitative characteristics, coefficients, were calculated, which together show their positionality, metrics, composition, structure, historical, evolutionary, and functional dynamics. Historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems differ in various metrics: area size, length, width, power, symmetry, anisotropy, volumetric shape, external shape of their morpholithobodies, nature of neighborhood, system boundaries, height differences of the exterior surfaces, lower boundary and interior surfaces. In terms of plan, the form of historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems is characterized by the coefficients of elongation, ratio of the average width and length, proportionality, ratio of the actual length of Thalberg and interflow lines, and tortuosity, ratio of the directed length of the interflow to the actual length. The composition of the systems is characterized by morpholithohorizons. Historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems differ in composition, interrelationship, and spatial differences of morpholithohorizons, which characterize their structure. In the vertical structure of the geomorpholithosphere, the territory of the PAB, there are 9 morpholithohorizons. Statics reflects the current dynamics, the correctness of functional, historical, and the historically dynamic basin geomorphosystems. The dynamic analysis of statics indicators is carried out using the methods of systematic analysis, analogies, extrapolations, and correlation analysis. The directions, intensity, and nature of the movement of the matter energy are reflected in the following indicators of symmetry, anisotropy, and the volumetric shape of the morpholithobodies. Larger deviations from symmetry, partial symmetry, asymmetry also indicate a greater dynamical potential of the system, while pronounced anisotropy indicates directions. The opposite is evidenced by the developed symmetry, not pronounced anisotropy, flat, and complex forms. Most systems have a certain percentage of newly formed boundaries, which are primarily of tectonic nature. Distributions of denudation, transit and accumulative landforms reflect the distributions of the initial, transit, and terminal functions of the systems. Functional dynamics in historically dynamic Basin geomorphosystems is carried out due to stable groupings of morpholithic complexes through which the substance moves from and to them. During the Mesozoic-Cenozoic, historically dynamic Basin geomorphosystems determined the established directions and channels of substance movement. According to the ratio of dissipative functions in the systems, they are divided into groups. The following groups are characteristic of the PAB. The first group is intensive, directional transit, subordinate terminal development, no significant changes, 5 systems. The second group is uneven in intensity directional transit, well-developed terminals, no significant changes, 5 systems. And the third group is intensive but unrestricted transit in directions, different terminal development, significant changes, 3 systems. Thank you everyone for your attention.